Right? Whether you happen to be any of those persons, you know what? The member for Tunapuna, I am sure. Sorry, I can't call you anything else. The member for Tunapuna and the Minister of Homeland Security will certainly put you on a PDO with Pipey and Rajiali down in Tetron.
What?
Let me see that again.
You know what? The member for Tunapuna, I am sure. Sorry, I can't call you anything else. The member for Tunapuna and the Minister of Homeland Security will certainly put you on a PDO with Pipey and Rajiali down in Tetron.
A few moments later.
And let me say again one more time. No government minister cannot instruct anyone to take out a PDO for anybody. It doesn't work like that. And if that's your information, you are highly misled.
The thing was off. It was off. So I don't have to introduce Victor Roberts here on this platform this evening, and he's here to talk about some issues where is prevailing within the public domain. It's something that, all of us know, and many of us are doubted. So today, we have Victor Roberts live on the Workers' Rights platform. I know we start late. We was trying to hook up the thing behind the scene. But you know how the thing does go, Victor. Yeah. So tell me, where's your thing today about this Attorney General that, we need to discuss today?
Well, first of all, blessings to all.
Mm-hmm.
And, I pay close attention to the last video where the Attorney General is making reference that if you're stealing government land or property, and inside of that conversation, he went a little further to say, and if you call me the night of the election, when the results was coming in, to tell me, fix up that list, have it organized. And he went on to talk about the member for Tunapuna, whose job it is to write those orders. And of course, he make mention of there is a place somewhere down in Tetran with Rajiali and others.
But people don't know who is Rajiali. So I mean, we hear I know this is the first time you broadcast on your page. You remember your custom. If you have ones that are people on your live, I don't know if you have to shout them out before we go on and think. So
Rajiali, and I wouldn't talk too much into it because it's an ongoing matter, is one of the individuals who is detained and charged as it relates to the Dana Sitahal matter. Right? So I don't want to go into it too much, but that is, and of course we know during the state of emergency previous, or the one before the previous, you were moved on to Tetran and so on and so on. But ladies and gentlemen, let us get into this thing. And my question tonight is, how come we have John Jeremy sitting in the office of the Attorney General? How come? What was the plan? What was the mindset of Kamla Prasad Bisesa to take John Jeremy and anoint him in the office of the Attorney General. Ladies and gentlemen, let us stretch our recollection back down the road. John Jeremy, over the years, and let me just say this, the office of the Attorney General ain't nothing new to John Jeremy. It ain't nothing new to him. Going after political rivals is also not new to John Jeremy. Let's go back to Basdeo Pandey, and let's go back to Sat Sharma. Let's go back to the story with Sherman McNichols, the former chief magistrate. And if we go all the way back there, we would remember, because of the behavior between McNichols, Jeremy, Sharma, the DPP, who at the time was Hedison, we would have had a commission of inquiry, or I should say, for a better word, we have had a tribunal by Lord Mustill being in charge. And if we go back to examine the facts of that tribunal, you must ask yourself, how come John Jeremy were more or less a central center figure inside of that whole report? We would have learned from that report that there was an alleged complaint with some $400,000 as it relates to McNichols bringing that to the public domain. You will also recall inside of that report that there were a $3.6 million land deal inside of there as it relates to a subsidiary of Clico, where it were alleged that there were a conspiracy inside of that issue for the Attorney General to assist in getting that land resold on behalf of McNichols. Let me go a little further. We would have seen, ladies and gentlemen, as a result of the Piaco 1 inquiry, which went through the window, we would see from the Privy Council standpoint that there was serious alleged political interference in that whole fiasco. From where I sit, I am also seeing political interference taking place today as we speak, as a result of what I listen from the mouth of the Attorney General. The Attorney General speaks to, if you are a financier of the PNM.
Yes. You see that?
If you are a financier of the PNM, if you are a black man from the Beatum, and let me tell you something, I am taking serious umbrage with that statement, because I realize Kamla Prasad Bisesa on one issue speaks to crime in the African constituency. I notice Israel Khan had the same position. And now I am hearing the Attorney General talking about if you are a black man from the beatum and you break any law. Listen, Attorney General, you're fast and out of place. That's why I'm telling you here tonight. You cannot, let me ask you a question then. It's only African people. It's only African people that break the law? All the allegations of corruption that jumping up inside the UNC is African people. All the allegation of corruption that jumping up inside of the UNC, I want to ask if it's a black man. That's what I want to ask you, Mr. Attorney General. It seems as though, as Jeffrey put you, you look like you're living in a bottle, not even a bubble. That's why you're living in a bottle. Because to the end of the day, I am seeing, and let me just say this, all you know who is the 6 foot man? The major player in this whole HGC fiasco, where contracts had to be cancelled. And let me say this one time on that. I don't want to hear about contract cancelling. Jeffrey, I want to hear who will be facing the courts for those contracts that had to be cancelled because of breaches of the Procurement Act.
And it's to the tune of billions of dollars.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So,
who is the 6 foot man?
The 6 foot man is a tall man with a big nose. His face sometimes look like a haystack, like you could stick needle in it. And I ain't going for that.
Okay.
That is the 6 foot man. The 6 foot man is a money man. The 6 foot man is a man that all you know, the 6 foot man, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the most dangerous man who is inside of that whole scenario with HDC. And let me tell you this while on that. What is Philip Alexander doing inside of that ministry? What is Anil Roberts doing inside of that ministry? What is David Lee doing inside of that ministry? And what is John Jeremy doing in the office of the Attorney General? Ladies and gentlemen, let me look at something here for you.
When you put on your glasses, Dave Victor, I know his problem.
I wanted to listen to this. July 20th, 2008, by Andre Bagu. Desmond Allen, the president of the Criminal Bar Association, has written to the Director of Public Prosecution, Mr. Godfrey A. Henderson, calling on him to conduct an investigation into whether former Attorney General John Jeremy attempted to pervert the course of public justice or misbehave in public office arising out of his report involvement in the repurchase of land, ladies and gentlemen, at the Millennium Park owned by Chief Magistrate Sherman McNichols.
My God.
This land transaction was one of the key issues which surround complaint against former Chief Justice Satnarayan Sharma and attempts to impeach him over allegation that he tried to interfere in criminal proceedings against Professor Vijay Narayan Singh and former Prime Minister Basdeo Pandey. Alam letter dated July 18th was released to the press on Friday, the same day it was delivered to the Director of Public Prosecution. Also handed to the media was a copy of similar letter also calling for an investigation from the Association Vice President Nizam Mohammed, dated April 5th, 2007, and addressed to Mr. Henderson. Mr. Alam claimed that more than 1 year ago, let me read back that. Mr. Alam claimed that more than 1 year later, there has been no reply to Mohammed's letter. Alam wrote to Henderson, there is already an existence material witness statement taken in relation to the investigation into the criminal as well as the discipline proceeding for us to establish that the Chief Magistrate approaches the then Attorney General with two allegations, one about the conduct of Chief Justice Shatnarayan Sharma and the other in relation to a suspicious land transaction. At the same time, the Attorney General was a key witness against Shatnarayan Sharma in the Naran Singh 137 proceedings. Let me just deal with this a little bit. So what we are seeing here is that while the Attorney General was involved as a witness, it said here, in this whole fiasco, at the same time, there was also a land transaction taking place between the then Mark Nichols, who was the Chief Magistrate, and the Attorney General as it relates to a reselling of a purchase of land. Now, let me just ask one or two questions here, Jeffrey, before you jump into this. How come we can have an individual who make a complaint to an individual, and at the same time, that complaint went to the DPP, but at the same time, that same individual is helping the complainant to get a piece of land sale for $3.6 million.
But will you say, Victor, I didn't know that. I say no here and I'm shocked. To tell you the truth, I can't make a note on where you now city because I see the documentation that you have in your hand and I can't make a note on that. I thought the Attorney General was his slate was white like snow. I thought the UNC was the perfect thing out.
The UNC is the perfect thing for the Attorney General.
Okay.
Because, let me tell you something. I consider the Attorney General office to be a sacred office. The Attorney General and the Prime Minister actually is the government, is the cabinet. Our Prime Minister swearing, next to swearing is the Attorney General. And then everything takes off from there. So if we have Attorney General who back in 2006 had all these allegations, and mind you, we are not deeming the Attorney General guilty of anything. You know?
Yeah.
We are saying if we had our Attorney General with all this allegation in a report that was done by a team of competent individuals, and the findings of that report would suggest that there was some level of collusion between the Chief Magistrate and the Attorney General at the time that caused two matters to go down the drain. The Piaco one and the Chief Justice second to go down the drain. If these two high-profile matters had to go down the drain because of some level of collusion inside of that report, then how come today we could have the same individual sitting again in the sacred office and expect things to be different? You know, my mother and my father used to say, when a dog suck an egg, you could put a hot egg in the mouth, he go drop it. As it get cold,
He going back to socket.
he going back to socket. And this is what this government is doing. We have a set of egg suckers in this government, and they cannot wait for a fowl to cackle. As a fowl cackle, they raise up the fowl bottom to see what drop out. They can't wait for the fowl to cackle. We have the Attorney General allegation. The Speaker of the House.
Oh, that is not allegation. The Speaker of the House is no allegation.
We leave it as allegation.
But all right.
Allegation. David Lee. Allegation. Anne Roberts. Allegation. Philip Alexander. Allegation. Wayne Sturge. Allegation. The man who the Attorney General say have the pen to write detention orders. Allegation. Minister of Agriculture. Allegation. Kamla Prasad Bissessa. Allegation. Who am I missing?
Khadija Amin, you're missing shit.
Khadija Amin. Allegation. Who am I missing there again? But the whole bunch of them. But today, we have a man sitting in the Attorney General office. Desmond Allen, may God rest his soul, who was the chairman, the president of the Criminal Bar Association, wrote to the DPP asking that an investigation take place as it relates to the conduct of John Jeremy. Today, I went back and searched, and I cannot find anywhere that such investigation were conducted and the results was a clean bill of health for the Attorney General. I went back and searched today, and I cannot find that investigation take place at all in this country.
So we're saying then you feel that it was erased? I just asking a question, because if you're not seeing it,
more than
and
that,
it was there, where it is.
well, the problem is the investigation never take place. The investigation never took place as it relates to that issue. I research, I look, I dig, and nowhere I could find that an investigation was conducted in the conduct of John Jeremy between 20, and mind you, at that time, he was a Attorney General appointed under the PNM. He was Attorney General appointed under the PNM.
So wait, Victor. Let me slow down this a little bit. Now, before, at that time that the PNM distanced itself from John Jeremy, could that have been one of the motivating factors? I just asking a question. I mean, we're saying
we have the right to form an opinion once we doesn't slander somebody.
Right.
So our opinion, your opinion, as well as my opinion, I think that there is some merit along the line while John Jeremy was selected. I believe, I am not saying that that is so, and that was the reason.
Right.
I believe that John Jeremy was selected to go after members of the People's National Movement. That is my opinion. That is my belief.
And you see, we had to use deductive reasoning, because at the end of the day, who we really going after? We seeing the results.
But when you make a statement to say, if you are a financier of the PNM, and if you is a black man from the beat-up, that to me, that show motive for the action.
Yes.
That show motive for the action. And he boasted that Roger Alexander, whose job it is to write these orders, he's waiting to write.
You see, the thing about it, Victor, is the inconsistencies. When Roger Alexander said this thing not political, and I'm glad you're here. Now, who does write the order? It have a tribunal that does go before first, or Roger have the ability to just do it without question?
The minister, under the last set of regulations, the minister, that is the man. The minister, John Jeremy, said it in the parliament. He said, my colleague from Tonapuna, whose job it is. That is what he said. And it's on the tape.
Yeah.
Whose job it is. So all this hogwash, that it's not political and political. Jeffrey, as we speaking tonight, as we sit down here speaking tonight and discussing the country affairs, Jeremy could tell Roger, detain them, and that's it. And that's it.
Victor, let me play back this tape, because this is the thing there with the Attorney General.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
In respect of the observance of the law, all persons in Trinidad and Tobago, every single person in Trinidad and Tobago, whether you happen to be a funder of the People's National Movement, whether you happen to be a member of the 1%, if you break the law, if you cross that line that would excite the member for Tunapuna, I want to be very careful. The member for Tunapuna, whose job it is to write PDOs.
It's not a political thing. It's not a political thing. I don't know why people think it. And I am somewhat embarrassed by that. Why a person would think such a thing?
Well, then you know what? Whether you are a black man from the Beta, or whether you happen to live in Bayshore and are stealing government land and property, I don't know. Whether, I'm just saying whether. I'm just saying whether. Whether you happen to be doing that, whether you happen to have called the office of the Attorney General essentially at midnight on the 28th, when the results of the elections were coming in, to say, listen, get that lease fixed up for me now. Right? Whether you happen to be any of those persons, you know what? The member for Tunapuna, I am sure, sorry, I can't call you anything else. The member for Tunapuna and the Minister of Homeland Security will certainly put you on a PDO with Pipey and Rajiali down in Tetra.
What?
Let me see that again.
You know what?
So all you hear it for yourself. So since this man talking about living in Bisho, and since this man talking about stealing land, let me talk some land talk here now. I want to ask, the Attorney General, if he knows who were responsible for removing the restrictions on Colony 1975 limited lands, so that some of the same people who he talking about, that talk about fixing up the lease, I will hope it is not Blue Waters. But let me ask this question. Who were responsible for a special cabinet note, a special cabinet minute? Let me get the number of that cabinet minute. The number is 3090. That cabinet note, ladies and gentlemen, it is the note that removed all the restrictions from Colony 1975 limited lands, from agricultural lands, where persons would have been able to obtain 2 acres by 2 acres by 2 acres. And let me tell you something. That cabinet note was not under the PNM. That cabinet note 3093 was a cabinet note that came between 2010 and 2015 by the Minister of EMBD.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Whoever the minister is, that 3093, is the cabinet number, the note number. 3093, look at right here. I tell a lot of research, I do just come and talk because I have a mouth, And that was brought between 2010 and 2015. All the restrictions removed. I want to ask a question. This big water company, when did they obtain lands in Carney 1975 limited? Why all they talk about that? All they talking about fix up lease and fix up this and fix up that, and who get called for the election night when results come in to fix lease and fix lease? Ladies and gentlemen, so judging from what the Attorney General is saying, is this whole big issue a land issue?
Well, it certainly appeared to be that.
But Jeffrey, it was the People's Partnership that removed the restrictions of the land under that note, 3093.
3093.
So that people with commercial background were able to get land, lease and get land, and who give land and who get land and who. It is under the People's Partnership. So is it a case now that they want to take back the same land that they allow people to get?
But I don't feel it's that. I feel when somebody gets something from something, they're operating in a certain way. I just say it.
Well, I have a question. I have a question. And my question, was anything promised to whoever it was that brought that cabinet note to remove the restrictions?
Logical question.
Was something promised?
And they didn't get it.
Something didn't fulfill? People only understand what's taking place in this country, If all you understand what's taking place in this country, let me tell you something. All you start to wear pampers. If all you understand. Because all you will just urinate on yourself if all you understand what's going on in this country. Urine will just be running like river on the side of the road. If all you understand what's taking place in this country. When I was in the UNC before John Jeremy, when I left the UNC, go back and look for it. You see how I was searching on my videos to see what I says. So the man who jobbed it is good, right? Go back and check. All you will see before Alexander and all them jokers and them jumping the UNC. All you will see when I left the UNC, I state some reason why. I state all yet, you know. I state all yet. I state some reasons why, because I'm going to tell you something in this country. All you can't take a heavy dose of what's going on in the UNC, you know. All you have to take it in small dosage. If all you get a heavy dose, how they consider all you, according to Jeremy, how they consider all you black man. If all you get a full dose, boy, all you will, yellow is the code.
You go wear pampers.
Boy, pampers all you. Pampers if all you understand what's going on. Let me tell you something. Because there's some of them wearing pampers in the UNC too, but we ain't talking about that today. Let me tell you something. I will tell you something. This UNC party intends to break everybody who they believe supports the PNM. And it's not the first time I tell all of that. I tell all of that prior to April 28, 2025, prior to the election. I told you folks that the UNC have a plan to dismantle the base of the PNM, to remove all those who they believe were appointed by the PNM, and to destroy your employment sector if they believe that you got higher under the PNM, and added to that, to go after the finances of the PNM. I told you so. And I want to ask John Jeremy, while he was Attorney General under Patrick Manning, did you go after the financiers of the UNC? I want to ask you that, Jeremy. Did you go after the financiers of the UNC while you were under Patrick Manning? So I don't know. You know that some people just have a thing for a thing.
I don't understand that.
They have a thing for a thing.
I don't understand that. You had to explain that for me.
They have a knack for a thing. So like, if they see a bulb, something does shiver. Anyway, they see a bulb. But there's some people, anytime they hear financiers, they just be ready to go after them. By any means necessary. We are seeing a playbook here, ladies and gentlemen, that all you understand. And let me just say this. Let me just tell all of this. This Balize house, Jeffrey, you remember?
Before you go on, somebody now text me there and they say, please put in a ledge in our panel discussion here this evening.
All right.
Because the real frightened right about now for we.
Okay.
Yeah, just
so
tell you.
everything alleged this evening.
Right. On a ledge.
Right?
It on a ledge.
It is alleged, everything. So, and I said it before, we are not casting aspersions. We just bring in the information in this report. We just bring in the information. There's a few pages. Well, we just bring in all the information from this report, and we asking you to go back and check the report. And while we're on that, we also elaborating on what John Jeremy said. If you are a PNM financiers And if you are a black man from the beat-up and you break the law, he friend waiting. So those are the things that we're talking about here this afternoon. So ladies and gentlemen, I said to you people what the UNC had planned to do. I was going to ask Jeffrey if he could remember we were mandated to attack Balize House.
Yes.
Under the UNC.
Yes.
We were on the radio station for about a year. A little over a year.
Yeah, a little over a year.
We were on the radio station.
We do plenty groundwork, plenty, all over.
And we were working. We were working to remove the PNM. That is facts. So all I let just say this one time, all a little wide in a little cozy corner and talking about Roberts and Jeffrey was UNC and you, oh God, I'll get work to do now, man. Everybody know that. We don't pelt stone and put we hand behind we back. That was our mission. And the reason why it was our mission is because we believe Keith Rowley at the Eric Williams Memorial when he said that we, the African people, is behind. We believe that. And we not only believe that, we know that. But you know what get us angry? We got very much angry because we find that we were still behind after Dr. Rowley's first tenure.
Mm-hmm.
And when Kamla Prasad Bisesa invite us into the UNC, let me tell you something. The apple, the grapes, and the pear was so rosy that we say yes. We're going and fight on behalf of Kamala. And let me tell you what I'm talking about, the apple, the grapes, and the pear. Her conversation to us as to what she would have done.
Or what was she intention?
Or what was she intention? If she become prime minister to help the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden, we fell flat for that. We fell for that. And if all you know Kamla, one year she done tell all you that nobody could love all you how she love all you. And you could get love, but you can't get she kind of love. All you know the normal hogwash store that have people crying. And when she put a little tears in her eye, and she rub it up left, right, and center, the audience and all crying. We were fooled. We believed that Kamla Prasad Bisesa really had the interest of the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden at heart. And that is why we stood up and we fight. That is why we stood up against the PNM. Let me help all to understand, because I find all you hiding in them little cozy corner and talking one pack of rubbish. One pack of rubbish all you talking, and all you know nothing. Especially some all you on radio station. I ain't ready for it yet, so I ain't going there. Talking one set of notations that all you know nothing about. But Roberts and Jeffrey and Warrior Princess and this and that. And all you know is nothing. All you hiding in another corner. All you won't even stand up publicly and come out and tell the UNC that they're doing rubbish. All you ain't even doing that. So hush all them out and rest down all your pen now, man. Put down all your pen, hush all them out and drink some water and mind all the business, because all you is cozy commentators. All you could only comment in an closed area. But come out in the public now. Come out in the public and talk, so I could answer all in the public. Because first the comments are saying, here do we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. He ain't fear no evil. But we have a thing we say too. Yea, though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we fear no man. So look, could jump out. So yes, we fought against Dr. Rowley. And I told Dr. Rowley that at the PNM Sports just recently. We honestly believe that the UNC had the interests of the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden at heart in this country. We were deceived by the UNC, but it so happened that we recognized it early, and we were able to take a position before the election and call on this country not to support the UNC, but Oli still went ahead. And I ain't blaming Oli for going ahead, you know. I'm not blaming Oli for going ahead because I and Jeffrey get caught the same way. But no, Oli realized that Oli was fooled. Then Oli need to do something about it. Oli need to stand up and speak out. That is what Oli need to do. Stand up and speak out about the problem, the sufferation that the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden, and even the 1% now face. Or they feel hard times here, hard times in here yet, hard time coming. Because of the behavioral pattern by the People's Partnership. And you are now seeing that the UNC fast track that pattern. That if the UNC under the partnership steal 100 billion, this time they intend to steal the whole country.
Just now, Victor, let me
Stand. And if we don't stand for something, then we might as well die for nothing.
Victor Robert, when you are UNC Senator, I mean, you feel lost and work with some kind of thing.
So let me explain that clearly to you. I am an alderman in the Super Borough Corporation according to the local government laws. Yes, I was recommended for the position by the UNC. And I want to tell the UNC this. This is not about Victor Roberts. You all could do what you want with alderman position. As a matter of fact, you all could go to hell with that. Do what you want with that. But I will continue to stand for the poor, the oppressed, and speak out against any piece of legislation or any draconian measures that the government implement that is against the population. That is my position. So here do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I do not fear the UNC. I do not fear the UNC.
Listen, because people want to know clearly your stance right now and why you're out here. And because it was too long to get that back. So just talk about if you care about the question. People want to know.
All right. So I have no problem with any repercussions for me standing up, and in this case, kneeling down, defending the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden. Whatever the UNC wants to do is a matter for them. I will do what I have to do in the defense of the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden in this country, and they can do what they want.
That is Victor Roberts, ladies and gentlemen. That is Victor Roberts. I am a person that will stand up against any draconian measure, any nepotism, any cronyism in this country. I will stand up against that. And let me tell Trinidad and Tobago something. Do you believe democracy and freedom came to we as slaves in this country because somebody waved a magic wand? You believe that how it come? You believe something dropped from the sky and they say freedom for slaves? You think that how it was? Let me tell you something. My ancestors fought. You see all them slaves and them who died fighting for freedom? That is my family. All of them is my family. You see those who surrender because they were working in the house? and feel that they massa because they're inside the house, those are my enemies. But every slave who fight for freedom, that is my family, that is my ancestors. And that is why I have a spirit that will fight for freedom and justice, equality, and fight for the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden. That is me. And it matters not who like me for that and who don't like me for that. I just cannot, ladies and gentlemen, see any government in this country oppress the citizens and remain quiet. I cannot sit down and see any government oppress the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden and say nothing. You know how much things I will offer? You know how much things Jeffrey will offer from the UNC, by the UNC? You doesn't even have a clue what we reject. You think we could not be sitting down in some ministry right now?
On a board somewhere.
On a board. Boy, I'd rather sit down in the sawmill than sit down on a board. We cannot be sitting down in some ministry, doing like the rest of them, and eating our food 65,000 when the month come.
That would have do more well, innit? You understand? But man will not leave me. You understand? Because everything would have been paid for.
You see what I mean? We could have been well off.
I did sacrifice.
But we decide we're not going to support bad governance, corruption, and thief-free from the treasury. We decide that. Nobody in give we nothing, you know. We standing up and support Penny Beckers. You feel Penny offer we something? You feel Penny give us something? We standing up and support Penelope Beckers because we know over the years, all you go back and find any piece of corruption with Penny Beckers and I stop support you. Like all in here, man. Go back and find any corruption with Penny Beckers and I stop support her. And that is what you can't take. All you can't take Penny Beckers have a clean slate. All you could call she all you want. All you could call she docile. All you could call she weak. All you could call she whatever they want to call her. But let me tell you something. Penny Beckers is a woman with integrity. A woman who understands the struggles that the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden face in this country way back then. And someone will go jump and say, but what she do about it? Go back and check she records now.
Let me play some, Victor, because I know there is a man talking about it. Let me bring it.
Returned to power, we will reinstate the CPEP program. This has been a progressive signature project of the People's National Movement, which has created opportunity, uplifted lives while maintaining and beautifying community spaces. We commit to reopening the CPEP program and improving it to enhance delivery of employment and service. What a shame and disgrace. Imagine you land in the airport and you're traveling on the highway. All you're seeing is bush. Huh? You're coming on the bus route. You coming into the city of Port of Spain. All you're seeing is bush. We may as well call them a government of bush. Yes. We will reopen all the youth programs. with which this government has callously shut down, such as the Youth Agricultural Program, the Hoist Program, which trained young people in heavy machinery operation, and almost 50 others, will reopen the Civilian Conservation Corps, which has been shut down since last year, denying hundreds of young people opportunities to uplift their lives. Youth across the country are crying out for opportunities which this government has killed. We will return it to them. Sometimes we forget. When this government was in office the last time, they closed down every single youth camp. And you're asking yourself, because you know they like to make these comments, they love the young people. You tell me one project, you tell me one program this government has put in place for young people since they took office. Tell me one. Nothing. We will repair the damage this government has done to our international standing, starting with CARICOM. One of our team's first mission will be to meet with regional leaders to recommit this country's efforts towards regional cooperation and integration. We will re-examine with an aim to reversing the harsh and draconian increases in taxes, fines, and fees imposed by this government in their mad grab for revenue and expenses. The energy sector was built by the PNM in over 6 decades. Yes, this government is in the process of decimating our downstream sector and putting gas production at risk by irresponsible diplomacy. We will begin by treating our foreign investors and partners with respect and with the understanding that this sector can only be built together, with the citizens of this country being the ultimate beneficiaries of our resources. This government wants to create a story and to sell a message as though the People's National Movement did nothing for the energy sector. They could do what they want. What started under Dr. Eric Williams, continued under George Chambers, continued under Patrick Manning, continued under Dr. Keith Rowley, continued under Honorable Stuart Young. They could never destroy that. The next PNM government, which I will lead, will govern with dignity and respect. You would never hear me threatening to bust nobody's head, to load up no matic, or to take off nobody's head. We will return decorum and class to governance. In order to return to government, we must be committed to our constituencies. We must be with.
All you hear that? All you hearing? All you listening? Dignity and respect. All you could find that in the UNC. All you could find dignity and respect in the UNC. All you tell me. Penelope Beckers is the future of this country. Mm-hmm. I don't care who have a problem with me. I don't care who have a problem with Beckers. I don't care who have a problem with anybody. I am prepared. Jeffrey prepared. The same warrior princess that all you condemning. She is prepared. She is prepared. And we will stand with Penelope Beckers to ensure that this country get a prime minister who will govern with dignity and respect, a prime minister who will care about the poor people of this country, a prime minister who is filled with integrity, a transparent individual, and someone who can withstand the test of scrutiny in this country. And that is where we go in. So John Jeremy could attack who he want to attack, whether you want to attack them in Bayshore, whether you want to attack them in Beetham, whether you want to attack us in Labre, let him attack. But I will tell all of this. I will tell all of this. The people of this country eyes are open, and those who eye were closed, they start to watch like they're getting sweet, I know. One eye open and the next one is on the verge of opening. We must stand up for good governance. This is not about race. This is not about color. This is not about religion. This is about good governance and protecting the future of this country. That is what this is about. And any right-thinking citizens in this country will see the modus operandi of this government, the direction in which they're taking this government. Let me tell you what will eventually happen. It seems as though that is the intention of this government to allow the African people in this country to become slaves once more, while they intend to be the colonial master. So they are introducing a system with an imaginary whip that you cannot see. And if you stand up against the whip, then detection awaits you, according to Jeremy. A PDO awaits you if you stand up against the whip. That is what is happening. So first, they started to talk about social media and too much loose conversation on social media. And I look up this one and detain that one. And somebody say, look the direction for Kamala House there. Look she up too. And somebody talk
about nines of them and about the gods.
Yeah.
Until the pleading now
and that's how the game going in this country. But I will tell you this. I could remember in the scriptures when God tell Moses, your job is to free the children of Israel out of bondage. Moses said, not me, Lord, me? like you mad.
I can't even talk.
I can't even talk. I can't even talk. But you know what? The mission was accomplished. And you know who allowed vengeance to fall on the chariot riders and the men on the horseback and all of that? It was Almighty God. After Moses stretched his hand with the rod and divided the Red Sea. And the scripture tells us that after the train walked through like on dry land, and he stretched forth his rod when the chariots and the horsemen and the oppressors was coming, they all were consumed in the sea. I want to tell you something tonight. I consider Penelope Beckers to be the Moses for a time like this. I consider Penny Beckers to stretch forth a hand and free the people of Trinidad and Tobago from this political bondage and the hands of the pharaohs within the UNC. I look at Penny Beckers as God's anointed for a time like this in this country, to stand up when all the odds are against you, Penny. Stand up. When they say all manner of evil against you, Penny, stand up. When they try to prosecute you, Penny, stand up, because the deliverer will ensure that the mission that he called you to lead will be fulfilled. So don't worry about them. Don't even worry about them in your own backyard who trying to pull you down. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. You are here for a particular purpose. You are here out of the wider imagination. When they send you away, when they try to contest, the time wasn't right. Let me tell you something. What God appoint, no man could disappoint. So Penny, you have a job to do. Your job is to lead the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden out of bondage. And by doing so, those at the upper class will benefit. Because what this dotish, idiotic UNC does not understand is economics. And when you destroy the earnings of the poorer class, they're so dotish. How you expect the economy to survive when there is no money at the lower class? The man who had to go in the market, the man who had to go in the grocery, the man who had to fix the tire, the man who had to tune up the car. When you destroy all that, as this UNC have destroyed CPEP, URP, forestry, MILAT, Civilian Conservation Corps, everything. They're so idiotic. They do not even understand when there is no income for the lower class in the country, the higher class will suffer. That is how dotish these people really is in this place.
And I'm glad you say that about the MILAT and the MIPAT. Tomorrow, Trinidad and Tobago, we will be having some children that would have benefited from the MILAT and MIPAT. And go tell you for yourself. So I tune in tomorrow for that. I just wanted to say that the cut here, not a cut here, but for the people to know what the government would have taken away from these children and them.
Exactly. The government actually take away the life and livelihood of the society. When you take away the deforestation program, and when you take away the youth agriculture program, when you take away all these things, and you allow a vacuum of no employment to exist, you ain't see Alexander is start to write orders yet. He ain't start to write order yet. Because when you take away and you lick up this whole cross section, 50,000 and more, when you lick up their earnings, their life and their livelihood, you think anybody care about anything? So let me ask a question, Attorney General. When the single parent baby start to cry for milk, and the tot son no milk, and they don't have a father, what will happen? What will happen? And I could imagine some of them idiots texting and say, let she look for a work and let she this and let she that. And I know them. I know them.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen? So the government create an avenue for crime and criminality by reducing 50,000 people, putting them on the breadline, and then all they're talking about preventative order and detention order. All they realize what happening? Trinidad and Tobago, we under state of emergency. All they seen anything change? All they seen anything change in this country? Let me tell you something. I want all they to wake up in this country. I want all they to stand up in line. stand up in line behind Penny Beckers. Give Penny Beckers the support that she needs at this time. And allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to elevate out of this dictatorial government that we have in office, who believe that because of their majority, they could say what they want, they could do what they want, and there's no consequences. I want to tell the government, I want to tell John Jeremy, a consequence coming soon. And you know what the consequence is? Very soon, John Jeremy, you will be out of the Attorney General office because the UNC will be out of government. And Penny Beckers would be the person to lead this country and to remove and to reverse all the hardship that only continue to introduce and to press upon these citizens of this country, from traffic fines come right back. We will prevail.
And before you go on with that, Victor, I want to say democratically here, you know the man from Tunapuna with the pen that like to write. PDOs. You understand? I want you to be clear. I want to set up thing for more here. What we are saying here, we are speaking specifically on things that is based on the constitution of this country. We don't even want to set up people.
Let me tell you what they know. They know, Jeffrey, that we do not support and participate in criminality. They know we don't support that. Don't feel any investigate we.
Yeah.
Don't feel any checking on we. They know that we not of that. They know that they have real pressure to get from we. And we ain't have to look for nobody to pelt no stone to get them pressure, you know. You know what we just spelled? We tongue. That's what we pelting, I tell you. We tongue. Because when we talk, we know people listening. And when we point out all the shortcomings, only be man enough to stand up. Be man enough to stand up and accept the wrong that all they doing.
Yeah.
John Jeremy, let me tell you something. Vindictiveness is a sin. Vindictiveness is not a nice thing. And whether the PNM they kick you out of the Attorney General office back then, whether they pelt you out, you know what you're supposed to do? Go back and check the reason why. Go back and check the reason why they had to kick you out. You understand? It's because of what is in this document. That's the reason why. The Attorney General office, as I started, as a closing, is a sacred office. And you cannot have persons with hanging allegation, whether it's from 2006 or 2025. You cannot have people with hanging allegations sitting in the Attorney General office and expect that everything is hunky-dory. When you could have the chairman of the Criminal Bar Association writing to the Director of Public Prosecution, asking for investigation into your conduct, it is a serious thing, brother. Do the honorable thing, now, man. Do the honorable thing, John Jeremy, and resign. Resign with some integrity. Say, look, this thing come back, and I think that, look, in order to have this office sparkling without blemish or without any form of allegation, let me ask you a question, John Jeremy. Do you not think when people go back to that must-still report, and you in the Attorney General office now talking and galloping and prancing and talking about who crossing a line and if they cross this line and that, just how they accuse you of political bias and political interference in natural justice, you don't think they will accuse you of the same thing now, John Jeremy? Jeff, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. You know?
No, well, I mean, the allegation didn't go away. They will still accuse you.
They will still accuse you?
Yeah.
So come now, man, do the other thing and take out your pen tomorrow morning and write that resignation letter, send it to Kamla, tell she thanks, but I gone. That way I had to do. Let me stop playing now. And not only you, you know. We are David Lee out on bail, but you're a minister in government. You can understand this thing? You on bail, you know.
you was locked up twice. Twice you locked here.
But you're a minister.
And Roberts cost the country 400 million. But you the ministry house.
I noticed he didn't say Anil thief the money, you know. He said he caused the ministry because you as the minister in charge, you are accountable.
Yeah, but look, the same Philip Edward Alexander. You who in the same ministry registered 3 company.
In a matter, bam.
When they hear 3.2 billion given out for contracts, you want to be part of that whole feeding frenzy. You want to be part of that. You want to set up a nice little spouting to catch some in that money. And that is what taking place with the UNC, the salary not good enough for them. Plenty of them. All of them by Parado. Me vex that, you know. But all your salary not good enough. So are you trying ways to get again and take from the citizens in the balance?
And Philip, I know you jump up and he say you register 3 company, but I here to correct him. Joshua registered the 3 company. I know you jump up and say, look, I catch him. He said you register. You know, and they were asking the question, who is Joshua Alexander? Who registered him company? So don't feel you catch him. You ain't catch him with nothing. You understand? We're making it clear. You understand? If Joshua is your son, well, I don't know. But who is Joshua? I have a son named Joshua, you know, Joshua Roberts, not Joshua Alexander. And he had no company. You understand? So don't feel you could catch him and say, look, he's here, this, that. We fix that. So the point, ladies and gentlemen, on a real note as we wrap up this thing here this evening, I want to reiterate that you see the Attorney General office, you see the Director of Public Prosecution office, you see the Chief Justice office. These is 3 offices that I am saying should be without any level of allegation of wrongdoing. These supposed to be 3 clean offices. When I mean clean. But unfortunately, we have a government in office who it seems like the more crime you commit is the bigger position you get.
Yeah.
That is what it seems like. The more crime you commit is the bigger position you get. And sometimes you get more than one position. That is what it seems like.
And sometimes your wife get position too on board. So, I mean, not only you alone benefiting, your wife and them benefiting too. I know you leave out that part. I know you leave out that part.
Wait, hold up. You mean the man gender neutral?
Leave that alone. Gender neutral.
The man on about gender neutral. We're going to leave it right there tonight. We're going to wrap it up right there. Gender neutral.
And since we are wrapping up, take Trinidad and Tobago, I mean the people on the Victor Roberts page, the people on the Workers' Rights page, or you're on TikTok as well. Good night. I mean, we didn't entertain no calls tonight, but the next time Victor come in the studio, we are going to entertain some calls. I know he just playing old school now. I don't want to put no mic in the ear, no headphone in the ear, because he's a man that's thing. So the next time, we are going to entertain calls, and we're going to get a chance to ask questions, because this is not the last time. Victor Nobel, we know one another, and we going on fighting. This country belongs to both of us, well, everybody, not just the government alone.
Now, to show you how I ain't afraid calls, if you had the phone hook up, take 2 calls. I ain't afraid that. If you had the phone hook up, take 2 calls.
If I have it hook up,
yeah, I can answer any question. I ain't afraid of question.
Let me hook up the call one time, because I mean, I'm going to play a video, and I'm going to hook up the call. If I want to talk to Victor Roberts here tonight, I know.
5 calls and that is it. Eh?
Five calls. So I get it. Let me play this thing with the Attorney General here, and by the time we're going to hook up the lines where you can call in. The numbers is right there on the screen. 333-2176. 333-2176.
So let's give him a minute to hook up the phone. 5 calls and I out.
All right.
I gone. All right.
You looking at me? I happy. But when you look at the political leader and Prime Minister of the United National Congress, her grandmother, who has served this country for however long, never had one standard raised against her, I will go to war with you. 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 My friends down the road.
We have a caller on the line here. Good night, caller.
Yeah, good night. This is Everton. Good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Mr. Robert.
Yes, sir.
I ain't seen all that TV. I only seen the thing all the video put up.
Yeah.
I ain't seen no.
Yeah, what happening is that it go be a little it go have a slight delay, but you're live.
Right.
You're live.
All right. So I didn't know you didn't hook up. I was calling on your phone all the time, the number on the screen. But Mr. Robert.
Yes, sir.
It's all money. I like all that you said tonight, and how you elucidate on Mrs. Beckles. I have a take on it. What I was telling someone today, when the PNM come back to government, Mrs. Beckles, I can't tell them what to do, but they should do over all that the UNC did. Not only with keep up on your beard. Tell everybody, all who lost the work, come back to it. Do over everything.
Right.
For this country to change, Mr. Robert, people will complain about the PNM, but the PNM don't get a heavy mandate like the UNC, you know. So they can't change laws or do the UNC has been doing. People are making mistakes and always get this UNC a heavy mandate. 25 seats, 26 seats, now 28. For this country to change, racial voting must stop. People must see the bread and butter. First, if we put this party in, will we continue to live normal? Or if we put the UN in, would we continue to live normal? Well, all I could see what happened when the UNC came in, and the state that we are in today gave the PNM a heavy mandate. None of 21 seats or 22 seats, give them 11, 2 for the country, because all of that is the party. Get rid of the racial voting. To my East Indian brothers, always see what this government is doing all this. Look how much all they coming on the right now on the air, on all the TikTok, and talk about this, all the same government, all they vote for, all they disdain, all they talking against them. Let us well, it's time to vote. Talk to all the people. Let them come out and vote this government out. Just what happened with when they vote out Robinson. Let it happen again. Give the PNM a heavy mandate. Let the fancy slogan when you and everybody when I yell the code. I think let that thing in the past when people come for them kind of a nice slogan. All the gun, all the phone and research, do research, educate all themselves. See what these people do in the past. Not only now in 2010, 2015, because what they forget to do in 2010 to 2015. They're doing now, right? They're doing worse. I don't think it can get worse than this thing, right?
Thank you.
If it gets worse than this, it means that we will end up like Haiti, right? So people, we have to stop the racial vote. People have to vote based on the research, vote based on the conscience, not this one, that, and that one is Indian. No. They have to stop that because it's the poor people on the ground like myself, like you all, that suffer, right? We had to get right. I had colleagues on the radio, and these people, when PNM was in power, they criticized PNM. They're doing this and they're building and they're doing that. But today, they see what's going on. And they say nothing that the battle for the government. I could, boy, I don't want to, when all they see me, don't talk to me. Especially all they see, all the Africans in Laventille, in my community, and all the communities suffering under this government, and all they still battling for them. Mr. Everson, Mr. Abbott,
yes, sir.
I love what Tobago do, and I hope they're going through it. When they're trying to make the Tobago CPAP a pilot project. They're saying for the CPAP in Tobago to start plant garden, and that is the pilot project from here. They want to bring African people back to slavery because they tried in 2011. You know?
Thank you.
I keep talking about it.
Thank you, sir.
And they want to do it down here.
Thank you very much.
They know how because they have me to come to. I'll ring it out every day. We can't go back to slavery. Donald Trump tried it in America. When you tell the Mexicans, all they're taking away people's jobs, black people, and the black people in America saying, what are you talking about? And when I started to import Mexicans, the white farmers waiting for the black people to come to work. Up to now, not one black person works on the farm. They're losing the farm today. Right? Let all they want the land, or they get all they want people to go up the land. Or they get all they want people to go up the land. Not we, not African people. All they want all the people to own the land, and we are slaves to go on the land, to plant gardens, to all to export, and all they become more millionaires than all is. Not African people, not from Laventille Nova, and not from Laventille.
Thank you very much, brother.
Not from Laventille West.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So,
yeah.
So the people on TikTok, I mean, we cross the platform, so we have. And when we have Chatter here is always one of the announcers. What's your contribution here tonight? Be closing off, so tell me.
Yeah, Mr. Referee, good night, Mr. Victor.
Yes, sir.
Good night to you, good night to everybody on the panel, right? And right now, this UNC government is ruling Trinidad and Tobago like a dictatorship. You understand? The Minister of National Security, the Minister of Homeland Security said that how handing out the PDO is not a political move, and we shouldn't think it as that, right? But all you're silencing the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Just look at Jason De Silva, look at Miss Phillips, right? Anybody speak out against this government, look at Johan, Harry. Anybody speak out against this government is getting a PDO. You understand? we are being silent. We cannot speak out against this government of what is going on. And the government said they say we don't have no money, right? They close down CPEP, URP, forestry workers. They say the country have no money, right? But they bring in lawyers from the UK and paying them $238 up, £238 per hour. You understand? To represent the state. But they're saying the country has no money. So where they get any money to fund these lawyers and them? You understand? And the UNC government right now are playing politics with the people and them. And is enough time for the people and them to stand up and say enough is enough and come out and let we shut down this country democratically. Because how much more we are willing to take? Our freedom is being snatched away from us daily. You understand? And the UNC government do not care. Starting with the road fines and them. When Ms. Kamala Pasabi-Sessa was on her campaign trail, she said how the police and the soldiers and them are taking, the police and the traffic wardens and them are taking advantage of the citizens and them. And when she come in office, she will address the road fines, right? And the PNM government is wicked and evil. And come Christmas Day, this UNC government double the fines on the drivers and them, raise everything across the board. 64,000 people unemployed right now in the country. And all they just continue raising fines. Where you expect people to get the money from? You understand? A man take up a car trying to run a little PH or feed the family and a police officer coming out there and hitting a ticket for $21,000. Is that just? Is that the government we vote for? Is that what we vote for? For our government to take advantage of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? And it's time, Mr. Victor Robertson, it's just like what you say, it's time for we to come behind Ms. Penelope Beckles and support this lady 100%. The citizens and them have to wake up and back Ms. Penelope Beckles because she's the only person who will pull us out of this wicked, evil Kamala Persad regime. You understand? Well, because them know very well, after this 5 years, them not coming back in power, you know. Them is not coming back in power. So they're mashing up the country as best as they could. And they're thieving and raiding the treasury. Because the late Patrick Manning said, when the UNC come in power, they come in power to enrich yourself and the family. And they said how the AG say he going behind the big fish and he going behind corruption and things. Look how much ministers sit down on the UNC side right now. Have corruption allegations against them. The $400 million with Annan Roberts.
Well,
David Lee.
Well, Chatter, hold on there a second. Victor, what you have to say about that? Because this is an ongoing issue.
So, and I agree that if the Attorney General really want to go at the bigger fish, he say he going at big fish, but if he had to go at the bigger fish, he had to go at his own government. So thank you very much, Kola.
No, like Chatter, he does always be on the panel joining us here every night. And I know we think it, but we winding down. So we had Don, who would have joined us here since yesterday. Don, what do you have to say? Make it in a nutshell now, because Victor had to go quite over Saparia just now. I mean, Santa Flora. Don, so let me hear what you say. But right, so I ain't seen Don. The next one is ZTT. What's your contribution here tonight?
Yeah, good night.
Yeah, good night.
I good night, panel, everybody. I want to submit that the Attorney General, you all have to remember that he's an ex-PNM operator. He came under the Manning administration. He was not liked under the Rowley administration, and his actions is solely vindictive. So when you have an Attorney General that's vindictive in nature, and he made it clear in the when the government changed hands, he made it clear. He said, I will be coming at you and you and you, not you. He said, but you. right? So he has a vendetta. He has an axe to grind, and he is grinding his axe right now. Because you with look at this, listening to this the views with these concerning the hadiths and this ongoing matter. You remember, we have senior lawyers from the UK coming here to deal with a matter with persons who have just been detained. There's no formal charge, there's no case to answer. And if you could send for attorneys to deal with just what we call preliminary, that says a lot. It says quite a lot. Because at the end of this, the Hadiths could walk away without being charged. And the only thing what will be disputed is that PDO in terms of what the legality and the infringement of rights and all these kind of things. So you send for UK lawyers to try and substantiate a PDO, detention, unlawful arrest, or unjust arrest. When you don't even have a chat, you're not even facing a court matter. This government is far off the mark in terms of running this country, you know. And it's been a year, and they are not running this country. What they are doing, they are pursuing PNM agendas to dismantle PNM. And in the quest for vindictiveness and hate and malice, they are neglecting running the actual affairs of their country. So you know what is going on? All these things that closing down, these companies are pulling away and things. That is government neglect. That's government incompetence. That is government who have people there who don't know what to do. And what they are doing inadvertently is crashing the economy. And any businessman would know, if you have people running a business and they don't know the affairs and the policy and the mandate of the business will fall. It will fall, right? And the government is crashing Trinidad and Tobago because they focus. They're still campaigning. So they focus wrong.
Well, thanks for your contribution, and for watching the live. I mean, I would have asked you to come up again tonight, and it's something continual that we continue to do going forward until Saturday, Sunday. We take a break, but this is it is a burden. It may not look like if we lift in weights and take it is a heavy burden. Some of the times we can't even sleep. Look, Limoy watching Victor in the corner there and saying, "Baby, time for me to go home. You want to hug up." So you're the only thing that's good. I see Lemay in the corner, so he it's a full studio here tonight. We take it. So you can join us here tomorrow, chatter. Zed, thanks for coming up and giving your contribution here tonight. And the platform is open again tomorrow that we could discuss what is going on within our country. Thanks for coming up. So Victor, we have to say in closing, seeing that you're already here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, let us all stand with this lady they call Penelope Beckers. For the time that I have known Miss Beckers, she appears to be one that really, really, really interested in moving the country forward, and she interested in doing so from the bottom come up. And it's very few individuals you will see operating as Miss Beckers operating at this time. She is out and around. She's on the ground. She's on the field. She's listening to you. And she continues to ask you to give her that support as she's moving forward. We know that there's some things that we ain't say tonight because we just can't say it yet. But we know that there's a serious attack that will be coming from the government on key individuals within the PNM. Look out for it. Do not be disheartened about whatever they try or whatever they do. There's a silver lining just beyond the cloud, And I am telling you that that silver lining is Penelope Beckers. So give her all the support. Let's walk with her. Let's talk with her. Let's stand with her and ensure that Trinidad and Tobago can move forward where you the people on the ground, you the people that is hurting the most, because that there is where the hurt is. You hurting the most because there's some of them on top that still have financial support and businesses that could carry them through. But you on the ground without a bread, man, look, I clearly understand what it means to you to be in the situation that you are in. So let's do what we have to do and let's move our country forward despite the evil government that we have in office. That's my closing thoughts. I go.
Well, you say it. I go.